Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ridaka wal jannah wa na'udhu bika min ghadabika wa saqatika wa nar. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His pleasure through these gatherings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make these gatherings a means by which we get deeper understanding of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. And we ask that Allah through these gatherings brings us closer to Him, makes our hearts soft and get closer to Him through these gatherings. That's our intention. Our only intention in coming here, spending time, breathing the same air together is so that we, through the barakah and blessing of one another, get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And alhamdulillah, for the last 7 weeks now, we've been studying this poem by Sheikh ahmad bamba rahimahullah, in which he's serving as our guide for this class on how to achieve those higher levels of spirituality, inshallah ta'ala. For those who weren't here in our last class, we kind of left with a cliffhanger in our last class. And in that last class, basically, we talked about a very, very important aspect of building our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the topic of dhikr, right? And dhikr just means the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the glorification and the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so he talked last week about how that remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what brings within you this concept of unsiya was the word that we use, and I'll explain it again. It brings you unsiya with Allah, and unsiya simply means that you feel comfortable with Allah, you feel close to Allah, you don't feel strange when you're alone and by yourself with Allah. Actually, you feel more unsiya when you're by yourself and with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So through a lot of dhikr and remembrance, you build that unsiya. And so last week, all we talked about was different methods of dhikr. We talked about the type of dhikr you do just with your tongue. We talked about the dhikr that is done purely with the heart. So like you don't look weird around people just moving your tongue around while you're talking to people. They're like, what are you doing? All right. So yeah, we talked about doing dhikr with your heart. And so one of the brothers hit me on Instagram, and he's like at the gym, like, yo, doing dhikr the heart right now, yo, dhikr the heart. I was like, yo, that's what's up, man. Let's do it. So we talked about different styles of dhikr and stuff like that, right? We talked about that, right? And we talked about the primacy of it. It is a very important aspect of our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if not the most important aspect, is that your heart is constantly in the remembrance of Allah. And so today's class, there's 2 topics, inshallah, God willing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission, we will cover 2, finish off dhikr, and then we'll actually start another topic which is extremely important and related directly to dhikr, which is called, just coincidentally, fiqh, right? Just coincidentally, the name is similar. Fiqh, which means contemplation or meditation, right? Contemplation or meditation in Islam. And I'm really excited about that section because I think that's something that most of us through our Sunday school education of Islam never got that part. We never got those lessons on what fiqh means or meditation regarding Allah means or contemplation on Allah means. So, but before we get to that, we have to go through this section where he concludes, he talks about the benefits of the different types of adhkar. So the plural form of the word dhikr is adhkar. So he's speaking about the different benefits and what is the effect. See, listen, one of the important things to understand is that everything we do has an effect on us spiritually. Everything. So whether it's praying salah, whether it's going for hajj, whether it's sitting down in a gathering like this, there's a spiritual effect to that. There's some type of spiritual effect to that. And so one of the things that we never really learn are what the exact benefits or effects of certain things are. And what he's going to do in this next section is speak specifically about what are the effects of certain types of adhkar or certain types of phrases that we recite in our remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shall we begin? Alright, bismillah. He says, وَأَفْضَلُ الْأَقْوَالِ فِي الْمَرَامِ كلمة شهادة الإسلام فكل من ذكرها معتقدا مضمونه دخل جنة غدا. He says, the best statements that you can pronounce or say or utter are kalimata shahadat al-Islami, is the 2 statements of Islam, of shahada, which are La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. He says this is the best statement you can utter. وَكُلُّ مَنْ ذَكَرَهَا مُعْتَقِدًا. He says anyone who utters this statement with true belief and understanding of what the concept is. What does it mean when you say La ilaha illallah? What does it mean when you say Muhammadur Rasulullah? Anyone who says that statement truly understanding what it means, he says دَخَلَ جَنَّةَ غَدًا. This person tomorrow will enter into paradise. حَسْبُكَ فِيهَا أَيُّ أَنَّهَا تُدَعَى ثَمَنْ جَنَّةِ رَبِّنَا لِدَفْعِ الْفِتَنِ. He says it's enough to convince you of the superiority or the importance of this statement that it is considered the price of Jannah, of your Lord. It is the thaman of Jannah. It's the price of Jannah. It's how you gain the paradise of your Lord. وَأَنَّهَا تُدَعَى بِحِسْنِ اللَّهِ فَحَجِّ بِذِكْرِهَا بِلَا تَنَاهِ. He says also you should understand that this statement is called the fortress of Allah. Hisn Allah. The hisn of Allah. It's the fortress of Allah. Meaning it's a protective phrase. Protecting you from shirk. Protecting you from going away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says another thing that should convince you or let you know about the importance is that this statement is called the fortress of Allah. So he says, فَحَجْ بِذِكْرِهَا. He says, so say it a lot. You know what's funny? I find that the only people who say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah are who? Converts. Everybody else is like, yeah, I mean, yeah, in the prayer. Yeah, I said it in the prayer, right? But I didn't say it after that. So the way my teacher explained it is like, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah is not just to walk into the house of Islam, but it's also something that once you're in the house, it's raising your status. It's raising your level in the Allah. It's raising your closeness with Allah. So it's something that just chilling, like on your morning drive, like La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, just on your tongue like that, right? But unfortunately, it's like something we don't repeat often. We say it one time and that's kind of it. So he says, فَحَجْ. The word hajj means like hajja, not hajj. Hajja, he's like, do a lot of it. Bila tana, say it abundantly, just say it regularly. حَسْبُكَ أَيْضًا أَنَّ مَنْ لَا يَذْكُرُ عَمَدًا بِهَا فَإِنَّهُ لَا يُعْذَرُ. He says, also it should prove to you how important it is that the one who intentionally doesn't say it, they have no excuse before Allah. So what he means here is, once you know that there's only one Allah, and once you know that Muhammad is a true messenger of Allah, if you hold back and don't say it, now you have no excuse before Allah. See, there are some people who could possibly have an excuse. When I mean excuses, they come on the Day of Judgment and they're like, Ya Allah, I didn't know about Muhammad. I didn't know about this stuff. I didn't know. And so perhaps they may have an excuse. But what he says is, no, if you know what it means, then realize you have no excuse when you come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tomorrow. بَلْ حَيْثُمَا عَنْ ذِكْرِهَا يَعْبَى أَبَدْ فَإِنَّهُ يُقْتَلُ كُفْرًا دُونَ حَدٍ وَعَذَّمُ بَسْمَلَةً وَحَوْقَلًا تَكْبِيرَةً عَذْبَلَةً وَحَمْدَلًا. So now, this is pretty cool. So, in Islam, we have these types of dhikr. And when I say them, many people in the gathering here will already know them. But they have like shortened versions of them to refer to them. So for example, Basmala, right, is the shortened form of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. That's called Basmala, right? And then you have Hawqala. Hawqala is a shortened form of La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And I'm going to talk about each one though. So La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah means La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah means there is no might or power to protect, there is no power to do good or no power to refrain from evil except by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Then you have takbir. Everyone knows takbir. I mean, Fox News knows what takbir is. Right? Takbir is Allahu Akbar. Now what about this one? وَأَذْبَلَ. Yeah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So one of the statements we say regular is, Oh Allah, I seek refuge from Satan the accursed. I seek refuge with you from Satan. That's called أذبل. And I'm only saying that so you can understand what he's saying here. وَحَمْدَلَ. What's hamdala? Alhamdulillah. Right?
Trick question.
Huh?
Sound like a trick question.
Yeah, it's an easy one, right? Exactly. So now what does he say? Now that we got that clear, what does he say? He says, وَعَظَّمُوا بَسْمَلَةً وَحَوْقَلًا تَكْبِيرَةً عَذْبَلَةً وَحَمْدَلًا. He says, the scholars and the righteous people have always held in high esteem basmala, saying Bismillah. Listen, Bismillah is very, very powerful. It seems very simple, but it's very, very powerful. Meaning that whatever you start, Bismillah means in the name of Allah. That's what it means. But whenever we eat, we say Bismillah. What does that mean now in that context? It means I'm eating in the name of Allah, right? If I pick up this cup and I say Bismillah before I drink, it means I'm drinking in the name of Allah. If I pick up a book and I start to read and say Bismillah, it means Aqra'u Bismillah. I read in the name of Allah, right? So whatever action you're doing, Bismillah means I'm doing that action in the name of Allah. Now, I've mentioned this in previous classes that Basmala or Bismillah is perhaps one of the easiest ways to wilaya or to become a wali of Allah, a friend of Allah. Easiest ways. What do I mean by that? If we can just get in the habit of saying Bismillah before the simplest of deeds we do, you'll find yourself constantly in the remembrance of Allah. So you just go in the kitchen, you open the fridge, Bismillah. You know what I'm saying? You cooking something real quick, Bismillah. Like you're hitting the weights, Bismillah, exactly. No, seriously. Whatever actions we're doing, and now look, subhanAllah, he said it almost jokingly, but you go into the weight room and literally you're like, Bismillah, your whole mindset changes because your life now becomes ibadah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like what we have as young Muslims is this concept of my dunya life and my religious life. And that's not the dichotomy you should create. It should be like, no, I need to saturate this connection with Allah in everything that I'm doing. So when I'm walking into like jujitsu now, right? I step on the mat, and when they step on the mat, they do this like bow thing. So I step on, and Adam, where's Adam? He was here. He's right. He's like, I'm like, what do you do when you step on the mat? He's like, I go Bismillah. Like we're about to get it on, yo, it's on. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Now the whole jujitsu now is like for the sake of God. Now you'll be like, wait, how is that religion? Well, the Prophet said, take care of your body. Right? The Prophet said, be strong. The Prophet ﷺ in one hadith said, Mu'min al-qawi khayr min mu'min da'if. That the strong believer is better than the weaker believer. وَفِي كُلٍّ خَيْرٍ. And then he said, both are good though. Both are good. And we saw that when we went to Richardson right after the tornado, like we had to use your strength to help people. And now you see where that comes into work. So now literally going to wrestle jiu-jitsu now becomes an act of worship just by saying Bismillah. Now the other thing about Basmala, please move up, inshallah, come in. The other thing about Basmala is this. You're going to find that it's going to stop you from some stuff too, as we said before. Because there'll be certain things you won't be able to say Bismillah before you do them. And that's just like a clear sign that maybe I shouldn't be going this route. Right? If you can't say Bismillah before it, then that's a check right there. So Basmala or Bismillah is a simple way to constantly stay connected to Allah before whatever you do. Simple. If you walk away with one thing from today, it's like every action, yo, Bismillah, Bismillah, in the name of Allah, in the name of Allah. It's said that, okay, inshallah, I'll come later. وَحَوْقَلَا. He says, and the scholars have held on to hawqala. I want to do each of these. It's going to take time, but I want each of us to walk away with the type of dhikr that we learned about. So hawqala means la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla. Let me tell you what this means though. La hawla wa la quwwata. There is no power to do good. Wa la quwwata. And there is no power to refrain from evil except Allah. What does that mean in summary? Like, I can't do any righteousness. I can't get up for Fajr. I can't pray the next prayer by my own accord. I have to understand that it's only by God's permission, Allah's power. And any evil out there, yo, I'm weak, man. Word, like straight up, I'm weak, man. There's no ability for me to refrain from evil unless you, Ya Allah, give me that. Now look, hold on. We just said that. Now I want you to, under your breath, actually say the statement with what it means. Like, this is what I need you to do. Just for a moment, under your breath, we don't got to sit here and chant it. Because you're like, I ain't coming there again, they chant and stuff. It was cool until we started chanting stuff. And not coming back. Okay. I'll watch the live stream. So under your breath, with that meaning we just said, say it to yourself, thinking the meaning. Like, say it to yourself. Quietly, not can. Why? I want you to understand that these statements, they're effective when you keep the meaning intact. And when you say them with the meaning. Right? And that's why when you see something like that's bad, that's why people in that statement would be like, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Because it's like, there's no way to stay away from evil except by Allah's permission. But now what I want you to do now, that La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, and in fact, the Prophet ﷺ in one sound hadith, he said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, kanz min tahtil arsh ar-Rahman. This is a crazy hadith. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the statement, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, is a treasure from under the throne of Allah. It's a treasure from the throne. When I read that, to me, it's like what it does to me when I recite it regularly. You feel me? So that's the objective here. Look, the objective is not just mere Arabic words on my tongue. Whatever, right? No. The point is the meaning is hitting you as well. Feel me? Alhamdulillah. So, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I have no ability to do good, and I have no ability to stay away from evil except by Allah's permission. And so from today forward, whenever you say that, you got to keep the meaning in mind. Takbiratan. Allahu Akbar. The interesting thing about Allahu Akbar is it means literally Allah is greater. But the thing He's greater than, it's a superlative, right? So like Allah is greater than what? Like finish the statement. You get it? Exactly. Allahu Akbar just means Allah is greater. But the form, it doesn't complete. It's not done. Like, can you finish your sentence, please? Allahu Akbar. Like, then what? Greater than what? So the meaning is that the reason why it's like that is because, like he said, min kulli shay. Allahu Akbar min kulli shay. Allah is greater than everything. Allah is greater than everything. So having the objective of Allahu Akbar is building that concept of that azma of Allah. For example, you see the tornado that was just in our area, you see that, the statement, you're like, Allahu Akbar. Because it's reminding you of the greatness of Allah. Do you understand? You go to the Grand Canyon, it's like, Allahu Akbar. Right? So it's about remembering the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a'zim is the Arabic word. Azbala. Okay, azbala means, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Okay, so as Muslims, just common sense, like we believe in shaitan, right? It's like in the Quran, it's like there. We believe in shaitan, and shaitan's innahu aduwwul lakum, like he is your enemy, right? And so, like one of the scholars, I believe it was Ghazali, he said, look, if someone is like has a leash, right, of a dog, and they're walking the dog with the leash, and the dog is like barking at you, coming to you, are you going to yell at the dog, or are you going to ask the owner of the dog to grab their dog? You're going to ask the owner, right? He says, this is what a'udhu billahi minash shaitan is. It's asking Allah, yo Allah, get your man. Yo Allah, get your man, yo. Get your man. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan. And Allah's like, alright, I got him. But so long you think I can handle him, Allah's like, alright, take care of him then. Y'all go at it. But the moment you realize, no, I can't handle this dude. Innahu yarakum min haythu la yarawnahu. Like he sees you from where you don't see. Like he's got the upper hand. But here's the thing about shaitan. He says, and it's in the Quran, he says, فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّمَا دَعَوْتُكُمْ. What is it? Like, I only called you. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. All I did was call you. I didn't make you do it. And so the concept is shaitan can't make us do anything. He can only incite us. He can only encourage us. He can only like give suggestions. And the most beautiful thing that we learn is that when the Prophet ﷺ in the Quran says, الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, right? The last surah of the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ said that shaitan is like sitting over the heart of Bani Adam. And whenever you are heedless of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he whispers to you. And whenever you remember Allah, he backs up. Like light can't be where darkness is. So he backs up the moment that you remember Allah. And the moment you back in ghafla, heedlessness, he's back throwing his shade, right? But here's the deal with that. The point to understand is like by turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're asking Allah to remove shaitan from you and remove the effect of shaitan from you, right? So remember, he can't do anything to us. It's just his suggestions. He says, don't blame me, blame yourself, because I just called you and you answered me.
So I've heard other sheikhs that say, like, if you ever make a mistake, blame shaitan, right?
So here's the deal. How do you know the difference between shaitan and nafs? So listen, a lot of people like have these like especially when we talk about more of the meditation thing, you're like, is that shaitan or is that me? Like, you're kind of like, what's going on here? So here's what one way my teacher explained it is this. So shaitan, the nafs, the thought of the nafs is regular and consistent. So the nafs means the lower self, right? Everyone understand that? The nafs is your lower self. That's like a little 2-year-old baby that always wants something. It's like, I want it, right? If it doesn't get it, it gets angry. We talked about the nafs a lot. How do you know the difference between nafs and shaitan? You ever notice in Ramadan, you still get these crazy thoughts? And you're like, well, the Sheikh just said shaitan's tied up, but like, he must be tied to me or something, because I'm still getting these suggestions. So the way you tell the difference is this. Listen, this is like really useful. Shaitan is very quick and weird thoughts. Quick, like a jab, quick thought, and it's like, whoa, where did that come from? And it doesn't stay, it's not consistent. But what he does is he does that often until the nafs takes it, and now the nafs has it, and the nafs has it inside of itself. What do I mean by that? The nafs is more persistent and continual. So it's the thought that just keeps coming and sticks with you. Shaitan's thoughts are just more like quick suggestions, like, astaghfirullah, man, where'd that come from? That was weird, right? That's shaitan. But the thing is, they work together. Because after he does that a few times, then the nafs just takes it, right? So that's why in Ramadan, you're still getting those thoughts, because it's not shaitan, it's your nafs now. It's showing you, it's actually a good time to actually self-assess, because you get to see what's really going down inside of me, not shaitan. You know what I'm saying? So shaitan, quick, hard, and weird. Nafs, continual, and just constant pressure on the same thing over and over again. That's just a side point. So, Adbala, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We turn to Allah, we're like, yo, get your man. Get your man. Wa hamdala. Alright, Bismillah. Wa hamdala. So, hamdala is alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. He's going to talk about the benefit of that specifically, but let me just talk about this concept of hamd. Now, hamd is a very beautiful concept. First of all, hamd means to praise Allah for all of the good and attribute all of the good to Allah. So whenever a blessing comes, it's alhamdulillah, right? But listen, something really beautiful. Hamd is considered the end of all blessings. Think about this for a moment. When you finish eating, what do you say? Alhamdulillah, right? When you finish drinking, alhamdulillah. Whenever you finish something, you say alhamdulillah. That's the way the blessing is tatimmu salihat. That's the way the blessing is completed. Does everyone understand that? So it comes at the end. Now, what's amazing is our ummah, the Prophet ﷺ said, our ummah, us, me and you, on the Day of Judgment, we will be holding liwa'ul hamd, the flag of hamd, the flag of praise. Why? Because we are the last ummah. We are the one that comes at the end, just the way you say alhamdulillah at the end of all blessings. And that's why the final prophet is named Muhammad. Because he's the final blessing of all of the prophet. He comes at the end. You feel me? Alhamdulillah. So, but he'll talk about the blessing of hamd in a minute. قُلْ وَصَلَاةً وَكَذَا حَسْبَلَ وَمِثْلُهَا إِسْتِغْفَارَةٌ مُتَّسِلَةٌ. He says, also you have to do a lot of prayers on the Prophet ﷺ. You have to, now prayers on the Prophet ﷺ are salat ala nabi. So, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Oh Allah, bless Muhammad. Oh Allah, shower blessings on Muhammad ﷺ. This is something that the Prophet ﷺ taught us to do. This is something that's in the Quran as well, which is, I mean, the concept is simple. مَنْ لَمْ يَشْكَرِ النَّاسِ لَمْ يَشْكَرِ اللَّهِ. If you don't thank people, you haven't thanked Allah. You haven't thanked Allah. So for me, I'm understanding that all of everything I know about how to be protected in this world from spiritual harm and how to gain the pleasure of Allah, I know that through one man. And his name is Muhammad. I would not know the most trivial of things about hygiene if it wasn't for him. And I don't have to be specific. No, seriously. Like, you don't know what it... I can't explain. It's hard to explain when you start all over and you learn the most basic things about what's better for you. Like the concept of, like, I know it sounds weird, but the concept of istinja was just like so amazing. Like, you telling me I've been getting this wrong for my whole life and no one around me knew this? Subhanallah. Like the simplest of things, right? So khair, when you're getting all these blessings through someone, that it only is suitable that you pray for the one you're getting these blessings through. Now, we're Muslims. We don't worship any man. Like, we don't worship Muhammad, but we pray for him. We pray for him. Now, here's the crazy part. He don't need your prayers. So that's why the Quran and the Hadith tell you that the prayers are benefiting you. You're getting the benefit from that. You're like, well, how am I benefiting from it? Well, the Hadith tell us that every time you send prayers upon him, then the angels make that same prayer for you. In fact, the Hadith tell us anytime you make dua or prayer for someone who's not present, and they're not there, the angels say, وَلَكَ مِثْلٍ. May you get the same. May you get the same. May you get the same. So every time you're sending prayers and blessings, and when you study his life, you begin to realize that everything he did was about us learning what's truly about the akhirah. Like us learning about... Study, let's teach this together. The next thing he says, وَكَذَا حَسْبَلَ. He says after prayers on the Prophet ﷺ, he says وَكَذَا حَسْبَلَ. Hey, what's حَسْبَلَ? Yes, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Now, this is a beautiful statement. Let me explain this one. Remember, he's teaching us different adhkar and what they mean. Hasbun Allahu wa ni'mal wakeel. No, this not going to work. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, next time. Okay, okay, sit next. I love you, Kareem. Okay, Kareem. Okay, go to that. Go to mine. Go to mine. I'm sorry. All right, let's go. Hasbala. وَكَذَا حَسْبَلَ وَمِثْلُهَا إِسْتِغْفَارَةٌ مُتَّسِلَةٌ. He says, Salah ala Nabi. We just talked about Salah ala Nabi, prayers on the Prophet ﷺ. Thank the one who blessed you. Thank the one who you got blessings through. Never forget that person. If you've learned anything from anyone, shameless plug, right? If you learned anything from anyone, pray for that person, please. They need it. Alright? Number 2, basmala. Hasbala. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel is a very, very powerful statement. Let me explain it to you. Hasbunallah. Allah is enough for me. Allah is enough for me. Wa ni'mal wakeel. Who is a wakeel? A wakeel is like a lawyer. Like if you have a crazy case, like the state's coming after you, and somebody's like, yo, no, we got the best judge, the best lawyer. Like, oh, we good, yo. We good. You'll sit back in court like chilling. He's like, yo, I got this for you. I know the judge, this, that, whatever. We're good. You'll be in court just chilling like, yeah, what's up? I'm good. Ni'mal wakeel is realizing Allah is taking care of the affairs. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Beautiful remembrance to recite regularly. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Now he's going to talk about the effect of them yet. I haven't even gotten into the effects of each of them. وَمِثْلُهَا إِسْتِغْفَارَةٌ مُتَّسِلَةٌ. And he says, and join with that, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel, astaghfirullah. Okay, what is astaghfirullah? So, istighfar is the concept of seeking forgiveness. Istaghfara means, oh Allah, please forgive me. Now, I need you to understand there's a difference between major forgiveness and smaller forgiveness, okay? So there's 2 terms I want you to learn, or take down in your notes. There's tawbah, which means like returning to Allah. And that means like to seek forgiveness for major sins or major wrongs you've done, right? And there's conditions for tawbah. We'll talk about that in a bit. There's a way to do tawbah almost. But throughout the day, throughout our lives, there's so many small things that we do that are not right. They're not good. We didn't do it the way Allah wants it. Some of it we know, some of it we're not even aware, yo. We're not even cognizant of it many times. And so that's where istighfar comes. Now listen, the Prophet ﷺ, in the hadith, it says that in any gathering, the Prophet ﷺ would do istighfar 70 times in a gathering. What that means, if he ﷺ was to sit in this gathering, the Sahaba would say, just in that one gathering, we would hear him quietly just astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Now, he's not committing sin, so why is he seeking forgiveness? And some say that because every moment of his life, he was getting closer to Allah, and when he would look back at how far he was from Allah a moment ago, he would seek forgiveness for being that far away from Allah. Do you get it? Like imagine there's someone you're in love with, and as you get deeper and deeper in love with them, you look back at last week and you're like, astaghfirullah, I was that far away from you? Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Amen. Alright, you get it, right? Beautiful. So the istighfar of the Prophet ﷺ was not for his sins. The istighfar of the Prophet was because every moment he's like, I can't believe I was that far away before. I can't believe that was me. No, that couldn't have been me. Astaghfirullah. And some say, you know, when you leave the bathroom, like when we leave the washroom, there's a dua. Ghufranak. Allah, forgive me. The scholars say, why are you asking forgiveness? Now this is so deep. Because those moments when we're in the bathroom, we don't say the name of God. So for those moments I was heedless of you, Allah, forgive me. For us, we're like, yo, I'm always like adi, like, you know what I mean? Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. So listen, a lot of people think, normally the joke I always crack is like, if you rolling with somebody, say astaghfirullah, they're like, what's going down? Like, where is it? But don't look at istighfar like that. Okay? Don't look at istighfar like that. Istighfar is just constant renewal. Astaghfirullah. Like, I've spent time with people, they're like, awliya, man. And every, 5-10 minutes, they're like, astaghfirullah. Just on their tongue, astaghfirullah, Allah, forgive me. There's a hadith, my favorite hadith. Man lazim al-istighfar. Whoever holds on to istighfar abundantly. Man lazima. Like, that's just all you do. You're like, yo, I'm messed up. So all I'm doing is istighfar. That's it. جعل الله لكل مخرج لكل هم مخرجا ضيق مخرجا. Allah will create for every hardship a way out of this person. And then the hadith says, for every hammin faraja, for every worry, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cause, will alleviate that from him. وَيَرْزُقُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. And Allah will just provide for that person from where they never expected it. So risk will be just dropped on you because of that istighfar. So istighfar, remember, istighfar is something the Prophet did, alayhi salam, like regularly. It was just part of his regular thing. Rolling, just whatever he's doing, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Right? And you don't even have to know what you're doing it for. It's just like, Ya Allah, I'm not close enough to you, astaghfirullah. You get it? Feel me? Allah give us tawfiq. وَكُلُّ مِنْهُنَّ لَهَا فَوَائِدُ مَقْصُوصَةٌ بِهَا لِمَنْ يُجَاهِدُ. He says every one of these dhikr I just told you, they have a special benefit. Maqsusun, special, for the one who holds to it regularly. Regularly. Like there's an effect. If you take one of these we just did, and you're like, that's it, bas, from now on, hawqala's my joint, yo. That's it. Hawqala, that's my joint. I'm hawqala, that's it. He's saying there's a benefit from that you'll get. There's a special benefit in that statement. وَكُلُّ مِنْهُنَّ لَهَا أَسْرَارُ كَشَفَهَا فِي صُحُفِ الْأَحْبَارُ. He says each one of them has a secret. Each one of them has a secret that is written in the books of scholars. Like there's something you'll get special from it. And he's going to actually start to tell us that actually. وَالْكُلُّ مِنْهَا قَدْ بَدَى لَهَا ثَمَرٌ فَكُلُّ مَنْ لَهُ جَنَانَ عَلَى الْوَتَرِ. He says each one of them has a special fruit. For everyone who picks it, they'll get what they intend. They get what they intend from that. So here he goes. فَثَمَرَةُ التَّحْلِيلِ. The benefit of La ilaha illallah. That's it. Like La ilaha illallah. Man qala la ilaha illallah, dakhala al-jannah. Right? That's it. You get La ilaha illallah, you're a Muslim. Even if you say it or not, it's in your heart, you're a Muslim already. He says, فَثَمَرَةُ التَّحْلِيلِ, the benefit of La ilaha illallah. There is no God worthy of worship other than Allah. Tawheedun sama, strong tawheed, strong understanding of the oneness of Allah. That's the benefit of saying that statement regularly. He says, لِلْعَارِفِينَ قَالَهُ مَنْ عَلِمَ, for the people who know Allah. This is stated by the scholars. Then he says, لِأَنَّ تَوْحِيدَ ذَوِ التَّكَلُّمِ هَوَاهُ كُلُّ مُؤْمِنٍ وَمُسْلِمٍ. He says this type of tawheed is different from the one that every Muslim and every believer says. So every Muslim says, yeah, God is one. But he's like, no. I'm talking about something different right now. There's a different flavor, you could say, to the one who has tawheed sama, a high, strong tawheed. So he's saying this is not the tawheed that's just said on the tongue. It's a deeper tawheed in your heart, a deeper realization that there is one Allah, and He's the only cause to all things. And he's saying there's a higher level. Does that make sense? Let me say that again, just in case it was a bit not clear. He says everyone has the normal tawheed. That's a Muslim. Everyone that believes La ilaha illallah is a Muslim. They believe in one Allah. He's like, listen, no. When a person says La ilaha illallah regularly, they develop a stronger sense of the oneness of Allah. And that's what he's saying happens as an effect of La ilaha illallah. Fahimtum?
Are you saying with the tongue or with the heart in that sense?
So all of these, he said, you're saying them with the meaning of it in mind. Yeah, you're not just saying it. You're repeating it like La ilaha illallah. There is no God except Allah. But one of the ways La ilaha illallah works is this. Like, you know, there's asma Allah. There are names of Allah. Like Kareem is a name of Allah. So one of the ways you can look at La ilaha illallah is like a formula. Take a name of Allah and put it in the formula. So like La Karima illallah. There is no Kareem except Allah. Like Razik means provider. La Razik illallah. No one provides except Allah. Do you get what I mean by that? So there's a point where a person starts to see Allah in everything. Do you understand what I mean by that? I know it's a bit high, but as we mature spiritually, like we're all, mashallah, young, alhamdulillah, as you mature spiritually, you start to see Allah in more things. And he's saying La ilaha illallah is going to give you that high tawheed where you see Allah in everything. Let's keep going. He says, ثَمَرَةُ التَّكْبِيرِ وَحَمْدٍ قَدْ جَلَى تَعْظِيمُهُ وَشُكْرُهُ جَلَّ عَلَى وَقُوَّةِ الرَّجَاءِ وَالْتَحْبِيبُ فَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْسِنٍ مَحْبُوبُ. Look what he says. The benefits of Allahu Akbar is a feeling of the grandeur of Allah, the awe of Allah, the greatness of Allah. And the benefit of hamd is shukruhu. It builds within you gratitude. Alhamdulillah. Like, yo, listen. Yo, we're that 1% of the 1%, everyone. We said that before, right? Like, blessings, like countless blessings. Countless blessings. So why are we so uncontent? Why do we have such discontentment? Because we haven't cultivated gratitude. And so he's saying, alhamdulillah is what you'll use to cultivate gratitude. Why is this important? If you feel that you're lacking gratitude and contentment, then you have to build that shukr, that gratitude and contentment. How do you do it? He's saying, alhamdulillah, repeating that regularly, alhamdulillah. You get in your car, it's a beat up car, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Not on the bus, because Dallas public transportation is horrible. You know what I mean? Does it exist even? No, it doesn't. There's no power to do good except Allah, right? Maybe Dallas will get it eventually. Okay, wa shukruhu. But look what he says next. Wa quwwat al-raja'i. He says that the other effect of alhamdulillah is a strong hope from Allah. Like you build raja in Allah. What is raja? Raja is hoping for good from Allah. So the effect of alhamdulillah is you see all the blessings of Allah, so you understand the one who gave me all these blessings is going to keep blessing me. Do you understand? When you start to see all the blessings, you build hope in Allah because you're noticing all the previous blessings. So now it's like, wait, the one who's been giving me all of these things is going to keep, why would he leave me now? And then he says, وَالتَّحْبِيبُ. The third effect, or fourth, of Alhamdulillah is love. Why though? فَكُلُّ مُحْسِنٍ فَإِنَّ كُلُّ مُحْسِنٍ مَحْبُوبٍ. Anyone that does you a favor is beloved to you. Muhsin is someone who does a favor to you, who does ihsan to you. So he says, when you start doing Alhamdulillah, it creates hub for Allah, because now you see all of these blessings that were coming from Allah. So he gave, he gave 3 or 4 benefits of hamd. Three benefits of hamd, mashallah. He says, continuing, أَمَّا الَّذِي يُرَى ثِمَارِ الْحَوْقَلَى عِنْدَ الْجَمِيعِ وَثِمَارُ الْحَسْبَلَى توكل عليه مع تفويض إليه والثقة خذ قريدي. Okay, some of us struggle with trusting Allah. Some of us struggle with just letting go and let Allah. It's very hard for some of us. I want to take care of everything. I got to meticulously plan. You know, some of us can go on a vacation and be like, let it happen. And everyone's like, no, at 5 a.m. we got to do this, and at 6 a.m. we got to do this. And stop looking, bro, stop looking. So you get the point. The point is this. There's a concept called tawakkul and tafweed. These are 2 terms I want us to learn today. Tawakkul means trusting, but I'm going to give you a deeper meaning today. Tawakkul means trusting the outcome to Allah while taking the means. What does that mean? It means I'm going to take the means, but the outcome I leave completely to Allah. However it comes out, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I took the means. But here's the difference. I don't see the means as the mu'athir, the cause of the thing. Do you understand what I mean? So there's this story of a boy. It doesn't have to be a real story, but the lesson is there. The story of a boy, he was at home with his father, and he's learning how to count. And he says to his father, "Hey, Baba, I'm learning how to count. I'm almost at 10. So his father says, "Son, when you can count to 10, I'll take you to the candy store and you can get some candy." So the kid's trying, he's trying, and finally he gets it. He comes home from school one day. He's like, Baba, I did it. He's like, "You did it? All right, let's go to the candy store." So they go to the candy store. And behind the counters, there's this clerk. He says, the father, he looks at the clerk, and they walk in. And the father says to the clerk, "Give the boy what he wants." And the boy then counts to the clerk. He goes, Ammi, 1, 2, 3. He's counting the number of candies he wants, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the clerk reaches in, pulls out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and he gives it to the boy. The boy's happy, right? Yes. He leaves, right? Now the boy, the next day coming from school, he's like, "Yo, this is legit. I figured it out." So he walks into the candy store again, and he goes up to the he recognizes him, right? Yes, how can I help you? So he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And nothing happens. Nothing happens. He's like, "MashaAllah." Good job. So he's like, "All right, it didn't work. Let me try again." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing happens. So finally, the boy, he's like, "Yesterday it worked. How come it doesn't work today?" He said, "Your counting isn't what got you the candy." I think you guys got it now. Our actions aren't what get us our risk. Our actions are just the ada. It's between us and Allah. Allah is the one giving. Do you get the example? Yeah. And so many of us think it's our counting, our work, it's my work, I gotta do it. No, that's not what's happening here. behind it all is Allah. Now, we do take the means because the Prophet taught us take the means, but we don't believe in the means. You know why you don't believe in the means? Because if you lose your job, you still got to trust in Allah. You lose your job, you get fired, what do you, the means is gone? The means ain't gone. He's going to choose another means to give you what he was going to give you anyway. Do you get it? Do you know how, like, you feel like a king with that knowledge, yo? You feel untouchable because of your relationship with Allah. Because people will make you believe that they're the means to you getting. You feel me on that? People will make you feel like they're the means. I don't care if it's a spouse, I don't care if it's a brother or a father or a friend. People will make you feel like they're the means, and they are not the means. Allah is the means. With or without them, Allah will provide for you. So tawakkul is when you take the means and you go for it, but you trust in Allah. There's another word. وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. The next word is called tafweed. Fawwada is that you give it up completely to Allah. Not even with the means. You're just like, the whole thing is with Allah. I'm good. Now this is considered a very high level of connection with Allah. Very high level of connection with Allah. But that's what tafweed means. It means the means. I don't even look at the means. I don't even look at the means. Before the means even comes, I'm trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fahamt? Now look what he says. When a person reads, he says, the benefit of la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah and the benefit of hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel is tawakkul, and tafweed comes into your heart. Yo, hold on to that. That's a gem, man. The benefit of which one? Hawqala, la hawla wa la, there's no might or power except Allah. The benefit of that is tawakkul. There's no might or power. Now listen, this is not just with your risk, like money and your job. This is also with your deen. This also applies to your deen. Like, I can't do it without Allah. So, and hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Both of these, he says, if you repeat them often, if you're someone who struggles with tawakkul and just trust in Allah, he says this is what you have to recite regularly. Fahamt? Wadih? He says, وَالثِّقَةُ, it'll give you trust. خُذْ قَرِيدِي, he says, take from me these clarifications I'm giving to you. Like literally, guys, when's the last time in a gathering you studied the effect of la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah? Like how many khutbahs you'll hear, like say alhamdulillah. But what's the effect? Sheikh Ahmad Bamba is just laying it out so beautifully for us to give us a deeper understanding. And then when we do it now, we have a deeper understanding of what it's actually doing to us. So I thought I would do so much. I was so ambitious today. I'm like, I'm going to read this page and this page and this page. And mashallah, it's going slower than I thought. But as long as it's beneficial for us. أما صلاتنا على النبي عليه أزكى صلوات الحي فشدة الشوق له مع اتباع سنته ثمرتها والانتفاع. He says, as for your prayers on the Prophet ﷺ, what does that give you? What does that benefit you? He says, فشدة الشوق. It will increase your desire to see him. You know shawq? Shawq? It's intense desire to be with someone. Why are you smiling? I'm talking about Allah, man. I'm talking about the Prophet ﷺ. It's intense desire to be with someone. That's called shawq ila liqa'a. Shawq ila liqa'. Shawq, the intense desire to meet. Liqa', just to meet. SubhanAllah, yo. He says the benefit of salah ala nabi, you start to desire to see him. And that's how you end up seeing him in your dreams. That's the key to that, because you have that shawq for him. But what's more than that? Lahu ma'atiba sunnatihi. It puts in you that desire to follow his way too. To follow the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thamaratuha fal-intifa. He's like, this is the benefit. This is the fruit, so take benefit. He's like, I'm laying it out for you, yo. It's right here, just take it. وَحَيْثُمَا اسْتَغْفَرْتَ. Now what about istighfar? What does istighfar do for us? What does it affect? What's the secret of istighfar? He says, وَحَيْثُمَا اسْتَغْفَرْتَ رَبَّكَ الْأَحَدِ تجني استقامة على التقوى أبد. He says, as long as you keep saying astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, oh Allah forgive me, oh Allah forgive me, you will find istiqamah on taqwa. What does that mean? You will constantly be trying to stay steadfast on taqwa. Let's unpack all of this. A lot of Arabic words, just like, you just didn't explain it to me. You just said Arabic words. Okay. Can you explain that? Okay. So istiqamah means you're steadfast. You're going, istiqamah, I mean, anyone ever, I'm not being a joke, anyone ever drive a boat on the target, right? Or like a plane, right? It's very hard to actually stay on like true north or true east, right? You have to keep adjusting, right? Because it's not a road. Istiqamah is the ability to stay on a point continuously. That's what istiqamah means. And we normally just say steadfastness, right? And we normally say istiqamah in deen. He says the benefit of saying astaghfirullah a lot is that you find yourself steadfast on taqwa. What is taqwa? This taqwa is that wanting to protect yourself from sin. So basically he's saying that through istighfar, you build that life of taqwa, which means that life of being protected from sin. Taqwa means to stay away from sin. So the benefit of astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah is that it gives you that ability to stay steadfast on that life of avoiding sin. Right? That's the benefit or secret of it. Tayyib? Does that make more sense, inshallah? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so next, he says, مع المحافظة كالدهر على شروط التوبة كما قد نقل. He says, but you'll also have to understand there are conditions to tawbah as has been narrated in the hadith. So there are a few conditions of tawbah. Remember, I told you in our last, I told you a little earlier, we talked about the conditions of tawbah. So tawbah means to seek forgiveness, to turn back to Allah, right? Like a major sin you've done, you turn back to Allah. But what are the conditions in order to do tawbah? So like, we don't have confession, we don't like we believe we're accountable for our sins. And the only way I can get rid of my sins is to seek forgiveness from them. But how do I do that? So Imam Nawawi and other scholars have said there are basically 4 conditions to tawbah. Very important, okay? Number 1 is to stop the sin. Like you can't do tawbah while you're doing the sin. This doesn't work. You have to stop, right? Number 1 is stop the sin. Number 2 is nadim al-ma'siyah. Regret over the sin. Like you have to dislike that you did it. Number 3, that doesn't mean you don't have to dislike the sin, because sometimes we enjoy the sin, but we dislike that it's made me distant from Allah. That's 2 different things, okay? Like you can't control the fact that you enjoy something. You can work to take that out of your heart, and we discussed that in many times. But you hate or regret the fact that you've fallen susceptible to this sin again. All right? The other is iqla'an al-ma'siyah. You completely like uproot the sin. So what that means is you avoid everything that leads to the sin. And the last condition is that you have firm resolve not to go back to it. Now, that doesn't mean you never go back to it. It just means at this moment I have firm resolve never to go back to it. And the Prophet ﷺ said if someone does tawbah 70 times a day, 70 times a day, you have to really think about this, please. The Prophet ﷺ said if you do tawbah 70 times a day for the same sin, each time Allah will accept your tawbah. Like what human being after 2-3 times is going to forgive you for the same mistake? Don't compare Allah to anything of this creation, because the mercy of Allah is far beyond anything that we can, it doesn't even register here. And so the Prophet ﷺ said, if you did the same sin 70 times and you keep turning, see the reason I'm saying this is what does shaitan do immediately after you sin? He makes you feel unworthy of going back to Allah. But you have to combat that with what? Sick people go to the doctor, not healthy people. That's how you fight that thought. Yeah, I'm going back to Allah. You know the best way to understand it? You know, like a baby, like Qasim's age. Like, if the mommy gets upset, the baby does this boomerang. Like, it pushes away and then it comes back. Because la malja wa la manja illa ilayh. there's nowhere to go but back to the source of love. Do you get it? Do you understand that concept? Like, when Allah's upset with me, where do I turn to? Allah. I don't turn away from Allah. I turn back to Allah. So it's just the way Shaitan works. He's always trying, oh, you're not worthy of it. You're not worthy of it. You're not worthy of it. No, I need it more now. And this is when Allah wants me to come back even more. So you know what, Shaitan? Forget you. I'm going back to Allah. Now, you'll feel humbled and you'll feel low. You'll feel like horrible as you raise your hands. You're like, Ya Allah, I did it again. Ya Allah, forgive me. But that is the beautiful effect of seeking tawbah, that humbling feeling. Yes?
Can you go over those three again?
The conditions?
Yes.
So number one is to stop the sin. You can't do tawbah while you're doing the sin. Number two is you have to have remorse over the sin. Again, that doesn't mean you don't enjoy the sin. You may still enjoy it, but you remorse over the fact that you fell back into it. Okay? Number three was that you've that was uproot the sin. That means uproot it means you're not still involved. You try your best to change the circumstances around you. Try what you can. You know what I'm saying? And the fourth, firm resolve. At that moment. Now listen, we said this before, but I have to repeat it again. So many people that weren't here in previous gatherings. Firm resolve, listen. Shaitan will say, listen, you're going to do it tomorrow, bro. Why are you going to do tawbah today? Right? What's the response? I may die before tomorrow. Get out of my face. Straight up. And if I do it again tomorrow, I'll do tawbah again. And that's why the scholars say, you say to Shaitan, just the way you made it your job to put me in sin, I'm going to make it my job to do tawbah. You get it? Your job is put me in sin. All right, my job's tawbah. I'm going to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Allah yuhibbu tawwabin. The Quran says Allah loves the tawwab. The people who are constantly doing tawbah. Pious people aren't constantly doing tawbah. Sinners are constantly doing tawbah. So that's Allah loving you if you just keep turning back. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see how long it actually was. Okay, it's been 57 minutes. Okay, 2 more minutes, I promise. 3? Okay. Oh, subhanAllah. Oh, we're actually done with what I was going to cover, actually. Okay. Yeah, that's actually it. Okay, so what we'll do, what we always do at the end. Huh? The mixtape. Yeah, I'm going to recite the whole thing. We're not going to read English. I'm just going to read the Arabic so that we can just listen to the words. We've studied it already, so we're just listening to the words of Sheikh Ahmad bamba, inshallah. So next week, just so you know, I didn't get to it. Next week is the chapter on fikr. Fikr means contemplation. It's considered one of the most important. Dhikr is what you're doing with your tongue, right? But fikr is those moments of silence when you're by yourself, contemplating and meditating, right? That concept of meditation, which is taboo. He's going to talk about that concept of Islamic meditation. What does that even mean? What is fikr? يَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ. They look at the heavens and earth and they're like, subhanallah, that's fikr. They look at the creation of everything, they're like, this is amazing, subhanallah. But he'll teach us, like he just did, like, what do you do fikr on? Like, if I told you tomorrow, go home and just meditate, you're like, okay, I'm sitting here now, and now I'm thinking about the show on Netflix or something, right? My mind's just literally going into everything. So you need to know what to think on. Do you understand? So he'll go over that next week, inshallah. Let's just read, and then we'll pray salat al-Isha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَأَفْضَلُ الْأَقْوَالِ فِي الْمَرَامِ كلمة الشهادة الإسلام فكل من ذكرها معتقدا مضمومه دخل جنة غدا حسبك فيها أنها تدعى ثمن جنة ربنا لدفئها فتن وأنها تدعى بحسن الله فحج بذكرها بلا تناهي فإنه لا يؤذر بل حيثما عن ذكرها يأبى أبد فإنه يقتل كفرا دون حد وعدم بسملة وحوقلا تكبيرة عبلة وحمدلا كل وصلاة وكذا حسبلا ومثلها استغفارة متصلة والكل منهن لها فوائد مقصوصة بها لمن يجاهد والكل منهن لها أسرار كشفها في صحف الأحبار والكل منها قد بدا لها ثمر وكل من له جنان نال الوتر فثمر تحليل توحيد سماع للعارفين قاله من علم لأن التوحيد ذوي التكلم هواه كل مؤمن ومسلم ثمر تكبير وحمد قد جلى تعظيمه وشكره جل على وقوة الرجاء والتحبيب فإن كل محسن محبوب أما الذي يرى ثمار الحوقلة عند الجميع وثمار الحسبلة وتوكل عليه مع التفويض إليه وثقة خذ قريب أما صلاتنا على النبي عليه أزكى صلوات الحي فشدة الشوق له مع اتباع سنته ثمرتها والانتفاع وحيثما استغفرت ربك الأحد تجني استقامة على التقوى أبد مع محافظتك الدهر على شروط التوبة كما قد نقل لكن هذا كله مجموع في ذكر فرد قاله المتبوع وهو لا إله إلا الله محمد أرسله مولاه صلى عليه الله ثم سلم وآله وصحبه وكرما. Allah give us tawfiq. I hope it was beneficial for everyone, inshallah ta'ala. I hope we can act upon this. If it was just one dhikr that you learned, that you can hold on to, I hope Allah gives that to us, the ability to act upon it, inshallah ta'ala. Next week we'll continue with this journey spiritually, inshallah, continuing to benefit from each other's company, inshallah ta'ala. So see everyone next week, inshallah ta'ala. Does the clock change next week?
I think the week after.
I think 7:30 is fine no matter what though, right? It'll be lighter outside. Maghrib will be at 6:30.